In this lecture series on cost accounting, for the last few lectures, I am talking about budgetary control. And in the process of discussion on budgetary control, we talked various aspects of the budgetary control. I am not repeating. In my last lecture on the budgetary control, I was talking about cash budget. I will take that lecture forward, and today also in the beginning I will be talking about cash budget and how it is being prepared. If you recollect, last time we discussed the theoretical aspects of the cash budget, and with the help of one example I showed you that how the cash budget is being prepared. Means it is one of the very important budget that is to be prepared, because in any business cash is a very important component. Neither the more cash is desirable in the situation in the business, nor less cash what is required in the business is a desirable situation in the business. In such a scenario, we want that there should be optimum cash that should always remain in the business. And for having optimum cash, we prepare cash budget so that we can know that how much cash is required and when it is required, and which are the heads under which we have to incur expenses, how much expenses we have to incur under each head, and what are the different sources of income in the sense what are the different sources from which we will be getting cash. When I am using the word cash and bank balance, cash or bank is the same thing, right? So it helps in coordinating and controlling the financial sides of the business, right? And the basic purpose is that there should be sufficient cash. It indicates excess and shortage. I am brushing it up because we have already discussed in our previous lecture these things. It helps in it helps in the sound foundation of credit, that is on the basis of if your cash system is proper, if your cash system is good, certainly it will help in you having credit from the different sources, right? You can plan for your capital expenditure, and it is a good, so means the cash budget is a sound basis for control of cash position in the business. And I also talked in my last lecture that there are three broad methods of preparing the cash budget. One is receipt and payment method, under which we keep on noting, we keep on writing down all cash receipts that we will be receiving in a particular period for which we are preparing the budget, whether from revenue sources or from the capital sources. All the different sources of cash from which we will receive the cash, we will keep on writing on the receipt sides. And similarly, all the payments that we have to make during the period of time for which we are preparing the cash budget are being noted down, are being written, are being estimated, so that we can prepare a proper cash budget by the method of receipt and payment method, right? So it means it is in this, it will be added the estimated cash receipt from various sources, and from this will be deducted all estimated payments of cash, whether on capital or revenue nature, right? So the resultant figure will be cash balance. If you have a cash balance, or there may be a situation where there may be bank overdraft also, because I am presuming that if the cash balance is on the negative side, we must have arranged through bank. There is a bank overdraft system. As you are aware that in most of the businesses, normally there is a small shortage of cash, or if there is a shortage of cash, that is being arranged from the short-term sources, and the most important source is cash bank overdraft, because most of the businesses make arrangements with their banks that in case we need money on a short-term basis, we will take resort to the overdraft facility. Overdraft facility means that bank can issue a check more amount of the what credit balance of their account shows. So that is called bank overdraft. So if the cash is on the negative side, it means the company must have resorted to the bank overdraft. Means we'll estimate that this is the bank overdraft we will rely on, right? The other method is adjusted profit and loss account method, in which we presume that profit and loss is the source of cash, that is the profit of the business is the source of cash, and in the profit figure we adjust all non-cash expenses and non-cash revenues. That is, there are certain items which are being shown in the profit and loss account, but for which we don't pay anything. Like for example, depreciation, certain provisions which are made in the profit and loss account, which are being shown on the debit side of the profit and loss account. So for the depreciation, for provisions, there is no outflow of cash, right? So in the profit figure, if you add back these provisions, depreciation figure and all non-cash expenses items, right? So then you arrive a figure which will show that what will be the cash in the business. That is called adjusted profit and loss method. That is, the cash budget can be prepared with the help of this adjusted profit and loss method. The third method is the balance sheet method. In the balance sheet method, what we do is that we prepare a projected balance sheet of the coming year, because as you know that budget is always being prepared in advance, right? So the period for which you are preparing the budget, for that period you prepare estimated balance sheet, except the cash items, right? So what is the cash balance that you don't show? Other than the cash, that you prepare the estimated balance sheet. And under this method, if your liabilities are greater than assets, if the total of the liabilities is greater than the assets, it means that will be a cash balance. Or if your asset size is greater than the liabilities, it means the difference is bank overdraft. So with the help of balance sheet method, with the help of adjusted profit and loss account method, and with the help of receipt and payment method, by these three methods we can prepare a cash budget. So friends, this is basically the theoretical aspect. Now with the help of a very simple example, I'll show you that how you prepare the cash budget, right? So under this, we are using basically the receipt and payment method. What is given is the following information relates to a company, right? ABC Limited or whatever name you, right? And this is the February, March. Intentionally I have not written the year, because this is for any year for which this budget is being prepared. So there are 4 different heads which are given, that from February to August and then up to September, the wages figure is given, that this is the wages that has been incurred during these months. February 6,000, March 8,000, April 10,000, May 9,000, and so on and so forth, right? So these are the wages expenses that have been incurred during these months. Then you are being given that material purchased during these months. So in each of the month, like in the month of February, 20,000 rupees worth of material was being purchased. In the month of March, 30,000, and so on so forth, as the figures are given in against the month that is being written. Like for example, in the month of August, 25,000 rupees worth of material has been purchased. Same is the figure in the month of July, right? So figures of different months are given. The third is overhead expenses. That overhead expenses incurred during the different months, right, are being given from February to September. And sales figure is also being given from from the February to September, 30,000, 40,000, 60,000, and so on and so forth, right? So these are the expenses: wages incurred, material purchase, overhead, and sales. So these figures are given to you. Now, apart from this, you are also being told it is expected that the cash balance on 31st of May will be 22,000. What we are in this example, what I have taken is that I am presuming that on 31st of May, the 22,000, or if I say 31st of May, or if I say 1st of June, the cash balance in the business is rupees 22,000. The wages may be assumed to be paid within the month they are incurred. What it means is that the wage expenses which the business has to incur, they have been paid in doing the same means. If I take the example of February wages, 6,000 rupees. So when I will prepare my cash budget against the month of February itself, I will show 6,000 rupees as wages expenses. If I am preparing the cash budget of August, I will show 9,000 rupees as cash payment against the wages, right? So means wages expenses have been paid during the same month. We presume that wages will be paid during the same months, right? Next point is, it says it is company's policy to pay creditors for material 3 months after the receipt, right? So it means when you purchase the material, you get 3 months credit, right? So like if this figure says the material purchased for February, so the material that you will purchase in February, you will make the payment in May. If I am being asked to prepare the budget of June, cash budget of June, it means in the month of June, I will be paying for material of the month of March, because whatever the material we are purchasing it on a 3 months credit basis, right? So I am presuming that there is a 3 months credit on which we purchase the material. Debtors are expected to pay 2 months after delivery. That is, whenever we make the sales, after 2 months of that, we will get the money. If I am saying that if I am preparing the budget of say May, then I will say the sale that has been made in March, the money will be received in the month of May, because there is a 2 months credit. So 2 months credit means in the month of May we will be getting the money of the sales of the March, right? So 2 months credit, 2 months we are getting the money. Then it says included in the overhead figure is rupees 2000 per month, which represent depreciation on 2 cars for 1 delivery van, right? 2 cars and 1 delivery van. In our example, we have taken certain overhead expenses. These are the overhead expenses. Whatever the overhead expenses that have been incurred in this, 2000 rupees is of depreciation. As all of us know, that depreciation is a non-cash expense. So if I talk of, say for example, February, it means in the month of February, only 8,000 rupees will be paid as overhead expenses. When I am preparing cash budget, overhead expenses will be not 10,000. Overhead expenses will be shown as only 8,000. Why? Because out of this 10,000 rupees, the example says that the 2,000 rupees is for depreciation of cars and delivery van. Since depreciation is a non-cash expense, so from my overhead, I deduct 2000 rupees in order to show cash expenses. That is the payment that has been made in form of cash. There is 1 month delay in making the payment of the overhead. That is, if I talk of March, it means the overhead expenses of March will be paid. So whatever the overhead expenses that has been showed in our example for the month of February, I will deduct 2000 rupees, and then against the payment of April, or if I am preparing the budget of March, I will take the overhead expenses of February and then deduct 2000 rupees in order to show whatever the overhead expenses that have been paid during the month of March. That is, you take previous month's overhead expenses, deduct 2000 rupees because of the depreciation, and then show it, right? So overhead expenses will be shown in the next month of the month in which the overhead expenses have been incurred, right? If I am taking of April overhead expenses, right, I am preparing the cash budget of April. So while showing the overhead expense, I will show March expenses, March overhead expenses minus 2000 rupees. Then it says 10% of the monthly sales are for cash and 90% are sold on credit basis. Since we sell goods on 2 months credit basis, what it means is that whatever the sales we make during a particular month, of that sales, 10% will be shown in the cash budget only of that month, and rest of the sale will be shown after 2 months, right? Because we are selling the goods on credit basis, 2 months credit basis, right? And the last point is, a commission of 5% is paid to the agents of all the sales on credit, but this is not paid until the month following the sales. It means whatever the credit sales that takes place in the business, of that credit sales, the commission will be paid next month. Friends, be very clear that the salesman's commission will not be paid on the total sales. Salesman commission is to be paid only on the credit sales, and that too not in the month in which the sales takes place, but the next month. That is, if I take the sales of February, right, then the commission will be paid in the month of March. Next month commission will be paid, right? So after 1 month we pay commission to the agents, and that too not on the total sale, only on the credit sale. In this example, what we have taken is that each of the month 10% sales takes place on cash basis and 90% of the sales takes place on credit basis, right? So on credit sales will allow 5% commission to the agents, and that too the next month. It is not the last point. Now it further says, it is intended to repay a loan of rupees 25,000 on 30th June. That is, it is a one-time payment. When we will prepare the budget, only in the month of June, I will show that 25,000 rupees has been paid on account of loan. Because as you know, while preparing the cash budget, we show all type of expenditure, or I will put the word payments. That is the capital expenditure, revenue of the capital nature, revenue nature, right? We show all the receipts and all the payments. So in the month of June, when we will prepare the month of cash budget of June, in that cash budget on the payment side, I will show 25,000 rupees as repayment of loan. Then it says, delivery is expected in July of a new machine costing rupees 45,000, out of which 15,000 will be paid on delivery and 15,000 in each of the following months. What this point means, friends? It means that you are purchasing a new machine in the month of July. So when I will prepare the July budget, I will show this as on a payment side, but out of 45,000 rupees, only 15,000 will be paid in the month of July, right? And rest, it says rupees 15,000 in each of the following months. What it means is that this 45,000 rupees will be divided in 3 parts. 15,000 in the month of July, 15,000 in the month of August, and 15,000 in the month of September. Because it says out of which 45,000 rupees, out of which 15,000 on the delivery, and rest 15,000 in each of the following 2 months, right? So means following 2 months means August and September, right? So assume that overdraft facilities are available if required, right? So in a particular month, when you are preparing the budget of a particular month, if your payments are larger than the receipts, it implies that the company will resort to the business will resort to the overdraft facility. So we'll show it bank overdraft now, right? So on the basis of this, if you are being asked that prepare a cash budget for 3 months of June, July, August. Friends, we are given the figures of February to September, right? But in this example, what I have asked is, what I am discussing is that we have to prepare the budget of only 3 months, the cash budget of 3 months, that is June, July, August, right? So now let's discuss one by one how we prepared it, starting with the June. In our example, I said that on 31st May, the cash in the business is 22,000. It means we are assuming that on 31st of May, we have a cash of 22,000 rupees. So whether I say 31st of May or I say 1st of June, same thing. So I have written opening balance 22,000. Then you are saying cash sales, right? So cash sale means that this example, what we have presumed is that in each of the month, that is from February to September, for which the figures are given here, that only 10% of the sale is in form of cash, right? So if you will see the figure of June, friends, I will not back it again and again, I am just showing it here. June sales, let's see where is the June sales is. June sales is 70,000 rupees, right? Against the month of June, you can refer to the sales figure, and this is 70,000 rupees. It says 10% of it is on cash basis. Now I am showing the cash is 10%, right? So 10% is 7,000 rupees. Cash sale 7,000. Then it says debtors. What it says? 90% of this is in form of credit. So means in the month of June, we will get the credit sales, we will receive the money against the April sales, because there is a 2 months credit basis on which we will make the sales. So sales that you will make in the month of April, for that you will make, and when I am using the word sales, as I have already told you, 10% is cash, right, and 90% is in credit figure. So you must have made a sale of 60,000 rupees in the month of April, for which you will receive the money in the month of June, because we sold goods on a credit basis, or we are expecting, because it is a budget. I will not talk in the past sense, I will take in the future sense, that we are expecting that in the sales that is being made in the month of April, against that will receive the money in the month of June, right? So 54,000 rupees I will show as a. So these are the two receipts only, cash sale and the debtor sales. We have not received any other money or cash or bank balance from any of these other sources. So these are the two receipt sides of the cash budget. Again, in the month of June, we have starting with the opening balance, then you have a cash sale, then you have a sales against the credit, you have received money from the debtors. Then payment of wages, right? The question says, or the example says, that the wages is being paid in the same month, right? So 12,000 rupees against the month of June, for which we are preparing the cash budget. Say in the same month the wages has been paid. So I will show wages 12,000 rupees. Then it comes purchase of material. This is all payment side, that where we have paid the money, where for which are the different sources, or which are the different heads, not sources, I will say, which are the different heads against which will be requiring cash, right? So we will be requiring, in the month of June, we will be requiring the cash for purchase of material, as it says that we purchase goods on 3 months credit basis, right? Since we purchase goods on 3 months credit basis, so it means that whatever the material that has been purchased in the month of March, for that we will make the payment in the month of June, right? So since we are preparing the cash budget of June, so whatever the purchases that has taken place, or that is estimated to be purchased in the month of March, that I will show in the cash budget of June. So in the month of March, 30,000 rupees worth of material we are expecting to purchase. So for that I will make the provision in the June budget, 3 months, right? Overheads. It says, the question says that overheads, out of the total overhead expenses, 2,000 is in form of depreciation. So since the 2,000 is depreciation, which is a non-cash expense, and we make the payment of overheads in the following months, next month, right? So in the month of June, we'll make the payment of May. May, 14,000 rupees overhead expenses are estimated to be incurred, right? 2,000 is minus depreciation. So 12,000 I'll make provision for overhead expenses in the month of June budget, right? And then sales commission, right? So sales commission, or the commission to the commission agents, is being paid in the next month, and that too on the credit sales, right? So whatever when we are preparing the budget of cash budget of June, right? So it means whatever the credit sales that has taken place in the month of May, right? Of that May sales, May credit sales, friends, will calculate 5%, which comes to 2,250, right? So in this way you are calculating the sales commission. And finally, the loan repayment. It is a one-time payment. In our example, we have said that in the month of June, 30th June, a loan of rupees 25,000 was being paid, right? So I am showing in the cash budget that 25,000 will be required in the business in the month of June, for payment of loan. So in this way, friends, you are showing all the total payments. What we have done is we have totaled all cash received, which is 83,000, and we have totaled all cash payments, that is 81,250, right? And the balance is basically, so 83,000 is the total of A means the cash receipts, and the payment is 81,250. So your closing balance is 1,750. In the similar manner, I'll prepare the budget. The way I have prepared for the month of June, exactly in the same manner, because of the positive time, it will be more of a repetition, right? I'm not discussing in detail, but the way I have prepared the June budget, June cash budget, exactly in the same manner, following the same methodology by which we have prepared the June budget, in the same methodology will be followed for the month of July and for the month of August, right? So since in the June, the closing balance of June budget is 1,750, so I'll start with the July budget with opening balance of 1,750. And similarly, the way I am repeating, the way we have shown all receipts and payments of June month, by following same methodology, will prepare the cash receipts and cash payment of July, right? Like every month it says 10% is the cash sale. So in the month of July, whatever the sales that has been made in the month of July, right, that will be 10%, it will be shown as receipts, right? Similarly, the money which you have received from debtors, right? So since it is a July budget and we sell goods on 2 months credit, right, 10% is in. So whatever the sales that has taken place in May, right, so in the month of July will receive the money 90% of May sale, because 10% of the May sales must have been received in the month of May budget, May cash budget only, and 90% will be shown in the month of the July. Exactly in the same manner will show the payments, right, of all the payments that have been made, in exactly in the similar manner the way we have prepared for June, right? We'll add up all the payments, that comes to be 69,150, right? So total cash available in the month of July 52,750, total payment 69,150. What you are noting here, what you note here is that the payments are greater than the cash available, right? So it means the bank will have, the company will have to resort to the bank overdraft. In the month of July, company will have to make a provision of bank overdraft of 16,400 rupees. This is the good thing of preparing the cash budget, that we know in advance how much cash will be required, when it will be required, what provisions we will have to make, right, and so on and so forth. Right? So in this way, friends, we prepare a cash budget. You do more practice, right, so that you can well understand. It is a broad example how you prepare the cash budget. Thank you very much.